And listen to me, I'm being nitpicky and we won 52-7, okay? But I'm also realistic. When those big dogs start coming to town, things are going to change. So let's fix these now and not fix them later.
American Conference Memphis just beat the SEC's Arkansas Razorbacks.
But I will say this, if I was the fans, I'd be mad at me too. Hell, I'm mad at me, to be perfectly honest.
Team meeting's at 2:30.
Your message at that point?
No, we got a number of things to talk about, but you know, number one thing is that you have to get used to change.
"42 points, and it kind of underscores the theme of their season right now. They've been very close, 11 points from being 5-1.
And Evans, that's a first! And that is a spin and a touchdown!
Yeah, I mean, what we need to do is just be persistent, you know, and keep going and keep working at it, keep preparing the way they did and practicing the way you do. We can't give in. We got to keep it up, be persistent, and, you know, pretty soon we'll break that rock.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Monday night here at the Mainline Sports Bar. Always having a good time. Big shout out to our title sponsor, Oaklawn, for making it all happen for you here tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Y'all just saw the intro. Man, can the Razorbacks catch a break? Come on. Welcome in the whole crew, joined by Josh Throne and Grant Cook on the other side. Fellas, that video right there, I was trying to explain it earlier on the radio today, what it feels like being an Arkansas Razorback fan. We're here at Oaklawn. I don't know if you've ever been on a blackjack table, okay? And each hand, you're saying, okay, this one's it. You get an 18, okay? Dealer hits a 19. Next hand, you get a 20. Dealer hits a blackjack. And then you get the good old 18, and the dealer showing a 6, and the dealer showing 12, then the dealer showing 15, and he hits blackjack on the next card. It's just like we get so close, and we think at some point it's finally going to work out. But it seems like the dealer still has our hand. Before I welcome in everybody, this is what we have on tap for everybody here today. We're going to go ahead and ask the question, do we believe, is Coach Petrino in or out? We're going to talk about it. Also, we got to preview Monday Night Football. I don't know if the game's too exciting, but we're going to talk about it. Always going to break down the film from the game this weekend, and we're going to let you know what is on the board, not just for Monday Night Football, but Razorback basketball as well. But, fellas, here we are. Once again, the question, Petrino in or out? Let's go ahead and take a look at our big question here for tonight. And when it comes to this point, do we think that he lost the job? 5 straight losses as an interim head coach. And take a look at this. 4 of these combine 11 points. 3-point loss, 3-point loss, 3-point loss, 1-point loss. I mean, it just keeps happening for the guy. You have to feel bad for him. But here we are. I mean, I think the fans are at this point now where they just want to maybe clean the slate and see what's next. But I will say, I posted something this weekend, fellas, and we got a lot of heat on social media, and it was kind of going off of the quote that you were talking about after the game. And I think it's just not a fair assessment when it comes to saying if Coach Petrino can coach or not. The guy can coach. I mean, we had Mac Brown on today. He joined us in Little Rock at the Touchdown Club, and he said there's no question. Coach Petrino, I've coached against him, coached with them. I know players that have been there. The dude can coach football. It's just this landscape. And he said, it's funny, I never thought about it like this until Coach Mac Brown said this. He said he's actually really impressed with what Coach Petrino has done. Now, this is not advocating for him to be the head coach or not. This is just the words of Mac Brown. He says, but when you get a team in today's landscape of not only you lose your head coach, the defensive coaches get fired, and then you take over a team at the lowest of the program throughout the past, 3-4 years it's been, and then you ask him to be successful on top of what is in today's game. You got these kids on the team that got these agents now saying, hey, we got to start thinking about what our next move is. You got coaches thinking about, okay, if Coach P gets the job, is he even going to keep me? I don't know. I got a family. I got to think about that. You got parents involved trying to figure out where they're going to get money for their kid next year, whether it's going to the league or going somewhere else, transferring. So many different elements. And what he said is those are all distractions. And when you add all that up to see Arkansas still playing the way that they do, he says, yes, they're not finishing these games, but you can't deny that they're competing with some of the best teams in the country week in and week out. He says it's actually quite impressive. I don't think that's going to be a selling point for a lot of Razorback fans, though. Grant?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is impressive. I think there's a lot of stuff stacked against Coach Petrino, but at the end of the day, you still got to go find a way to win games. That's the name of the game, is find a way to win. And if you've been close enough, and I think that's the taste that's in everyone's mouth right now is we're so close, why can't we figure out how to close out? Now, I'll say there's scholarship players on the other side of the ball too. And in a lot of instances, those teams are playing for a lot more than what Arkansas has the last couple of weeks. But, as far as do I think Coach Petrino's in, I think at this point, Coach Petrino's probably out. I think they'll interview him. I think they'll give him a fair shake at it. But I do think that if you're Hunter Yurichek, you got to have your finger on the pulse of what the fan base wants. And right now, it feels like they want Coach Petrino out. Now, whether you hire a defensive-minded head coach and try to keep him on as offensive coordinator is yet to be seen. But I think from a head coach perspective, in my opinion, probably out.
Josh, to your point, how much should Hunter Yurichek take into account what the fans want?
Well, I think that you do want your fan base on board, right? Like everybody wants a fan base on board because, that's ticket sales, right? That's revenue for your program, is keeping everybody on board and backing the program and excited about playing football. That's a huge part to it. But at the same time, winning games, if you've got fans that aren't on board with the hire, but it turns out to win games, the fans will come around, right? They'll catch up. They're always going to jump back on the train and support the program when it's winning. So winning kind of controls everything. But to what you were saying earlier about, Bobby Petrino and some of the stuff that was happening on social media, I did see that your tweet of our post-game show that went a little bit viral. Look, anybody who's coached football or been around football knows when you're this close and you've actually got a really good team. You've got talent on there. And there's a couple things that if you could just get a hold of these guys for a few more months, you think you could fix. And when you've played around coaches like that, you have the confidence that they can do that. Now, anybody who disagrees with anything that I've said about who should be the coach or Bobby Petrino or any of that, feel free to make an argument about other things outside of football. You could make an argument about like, hey, we've already been down this road before. We've seen what's happened with Bobby Petrino. We're ready for somebody different because X, Y, and Z. But you can't argue. If your argument is he's not a good football coach or he can't win in the SEC, I'm not hearing that argument at all. So, it would almost been better if he would have just said, hey, DJ, hey, Hunter Yurichek, I don't want the job. Consider me for after the season. I don't want it right now. This is too big of a mess. I'll take over when you can judge me after I've had a whole off season. That'd be a better situation.
So as much as we get interaction with our social media pages with 4th and 5, I wish y'all could join me on the zone with the buzz from 10 to 1 because the phone calls we get in are top notch. Okay. And so you got people all over the place. And, they talked about the options of who they want to come in. And this is where it just gets interesting because when you look at people starting to say, all right, what's the G5 coaches look like? What if we bring in a coordinator? Somebody brought up the coordinator over there at Texas A&M. Klein played quarterback for Texas A&M, and they say, look at the offense. Justin Akery, who I co-host with, he says, whoa, time out. I get a splash hire, but when it comes to coordinators coming in here, you cannot convince me that would be a better hire than Bobby Petrino. All right. So when it does come to the splash hire, that they have reached out and they have looked outside of Coach Petrino. We talked about this today. Apparently a package was put together. We had Trey Biddy on our show today, and he says that a package was put together and sent to James Franklin, for negotiation, saying, hey, we want you. This is what we can do. And now it has come to our understanding that James Franklin started kind of poking around, saying, so what's this Arkansas job really look like? Can it benefit me? What are the areas that, I could grow as a coach and be successful? What are some concerns? After all of that, it is said that he says pretty much, thank you, but no thank you. I'm going to go see what else is out there. So we know that potentially has happened. And that's the other point, guys. When you look at it from our point of view, we want what is best for Arkansas. Now, there are a lot of job openings available all across the country. And so when these other coaches look at Arkansas compared to other options that they have, do you think we are looking at this job through rose-colored glasses? Because I think Arkansas is an amazing place to be. But from a national perspective, would people be shocked? Would they say, why would James Franklin go to Arkansas and not like Florida or these other openings that are happening in college football? Josh?
I think that's the reality, DJ. I think that's what we've been saying all along here on 4th and 5 is that I don't think we're looking at it through rose-colored glasses. I think that a lot of the fan base, or like half of the fan base, tends to look through it, through rose-colored glasses because it's hard to win in the SEC. DJ, Grant, if I was y'all's agent and y'all were coaches, I would tell you right now, if you're coming off of, an up-and-coming coaching career in a different conference with a different team, and you're in a James Franklin situation, I would say pump your brakes. I want you to continue to be successful, and I want to put you in the best seat possible. And Arkansas doesn't look like the best seat possible for you to continue to be successful. It's a tough road. You got to have a guy who wants that tough road, who is willing to come down here and take on that challenge and wants to be an Arkansas football coach. If you don't have that, you're going to have tons of James Franklins, guys. Arkansas fan base, we can send an offer letter over to everybody and your mama, but they got to want to come here. So we can make all these lists and we can pretend that we're in the ball game with James Franklin's. But at the end of the day, they got to be interested in Arkansas. And I'm not saying he is or he isn't. I wasn't privy to any of those conversations. If what Trey Biddy said was true that you just shared with me, then, I don't find it hard to believe at all that was the case. But, I'm not saying that there isn't a surprise hire that can't come in and do that. But when it comes down to it, everything that I've heard and that we've seen in the rumblings, it seems like Bobby Petrino might be the only guy that really wants this job that actually has the resume to go along with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, when you get into the want aspect, there are a few coaches that will pop out. Obviously, you look at a Golish over there at South Florida, ties to Arkansas, wife from Greenwood. Jeff Traylor, they said that he has very much expressed the want to be the next Arkansas head coach. But are these names going to move the needle for the fan base? I don't know. That's going to be the thing. But right now, it does seem, when I asked Coach Mack Brown, Grant, earlier, I said, how much should a coach and ADs take into consideration what the fans want? He says, none. Yeah, it's just like you can't cater to it. It kind of brought up what I was thinking with Arch Manning last year at Texas. Fans very mad that he wouldn't come in and replace Quinn Ewers. Now what are we seeing? It looked like they know what they were talking about at Texas by keeping Quinn Ewers as the guy. The same thing happened in the NFL with Shedeur Sanders. Everybody's saying he's not playing because they don't like his dad. He's not playing because of this. He's not playing because of this. He goes into the game last night, and they're up 6, and they didn't score a touchdown, end up losing by 2 possessions, and he looked to seem like he was just not ready yet, But the fans believed he wasn't in because it was like a favoritism thing, and maybe that. And so when it comes to this, Grant, how much should the powers that be take into consideration what the fans want?
So when I say that, do I mean they need to go on Twitter every night and see what everybody's been talking about and then go out there and say, oh, yeah, okay, that's our guy. Let's go tackle that guy. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that, to Josh's point earlier, that is the lifeblood of your program, right? So to turn a completely deaf ear to what the fans want, I think would be a little bit ignorant. And now, like I said, I'm not advocating that, if they've got a big whiteboard in Hunter Yurichek's office and there's 8 names on that thing and all the names that are being floated on Twitter and Instagram are not those, you're like, go in there with a big eraser and just erase all these names off, guys. We got to restart. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But I do think that, you've got to listen to them in the sense of, are people still backing Coach or are they not? right? I mean, what is the majority? So need some fresh blood in here? Maybe so. I mean, I don't think all the fans are wrong or the consensus is wrong every single time. But the other thing is that a lot of the people that are bringing this money that you can go get a new person or pay a new person or provide all of this NIL, they're fans.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
For them just to completely say, we're just going to do our own thing over here, shooting yourself in the foot, and you're not giving yourself opportunity to go out there and just see what could be. If Coach Franklin was the right person, it looks like I think he, based on what I saw right before we kicked this thing off, has committed to Virginia Tech. I don't know if that's official yet, but it sounds like it may be.
Breaking news: Grant Cook announces James Franklin is the next.
Yeah, official. Yeah. So go ahead. Oh, sorry, Adam Schefter's calling me. I got to go, guys. No. But no. I think honestly, I think the coaching is a big deal, right? We know you got to get somebody here to coach these guys up, build a program, build a culture. But look at Texas Tech, guys. It truly is about the money. It really is. They became relevant in 12 months. Now, I'm sure their coaching staff is great, but they became relevant in 12 months because they went and got some dudes with cash.
Yeah. And DJ, I want to add to this because I just found some new information from Grant's got sources. I've got some inside sources too, guys. Okay. And my inside sources came from LSU. And you know what they said? They said that LSU, and this is legitimate. I was joking, but this is a little bit legitimate. I know a couple people down there that know a couple people, and this is just what's being talked about. Okay. So I don't know if this is true or not. But Coach O's back on the board down there at LSU as a hire to bring back, supposedly, as long as they can do it with a top tier offensive coordinator. And guess who was named as a guy that they're interested in if Arkansas doesn't pan out? Bobby Petrino. So take that for what it's worth. But if you don't figure out a way to keep the guy who turned the 2023 offense into the top 10, top 5 offensive in the country in 2 years, you're probably gonna be playing against him if you don't want him.
When you said Coach O at first back to LSU, I was kind of like, all right, come on. But then when you put those two names together, it's kind of like, yeah, I could see that. And it's funny, Grant, you brought up about Texas Tech, Joey McGuire. That's a name that a lot of people don't know. Even though I just brought up Texas Tech, you're probably still asking, who's Joey McGuire? It's the head coach. And the thing about it is a guy who has Arkansas ties. And we played against them in the bowl game, and it's still in a situation nationally where people still are not familiar with that name, and look at what that program has done. And, Grant, I think you were spot on when it comes to taking into consideration what the fans feel, what the fans can get behind. You have to pay attention to that element because you said in today's world, what they are asking for fans now when it comes to the ability to buy season tickets, not just with basketball, but with football, and then how much it will cost even to be able to get a season ticket, and where that season ticket is for people who have been supporting this program for 20, 30, 40 years. They're kind of getting pushed to the side because they're trying to make room for bigger. So you definitely have to pay attention to that. I would love the inner workings. I was talking to somebody. Please correct me if I'm wrong, and I bet some people here could probably tell me about that. And able to be, I don't know if it's basketball or football, but somewhere in the realm of being a part of the foundation as far as donations up to $25,000. And then on top of that, you have to buy season tickets, and hopefully it's a good seat. Does that sound about right? Yeah, okay. I got some people here who know exactly what I'm talking about. So you get why they have to pay attention to the fans, because that's a lot of money for people who want to support your program. And with the way things are going now, I can definitely see those people saying, I don't know about this year. I'm going to step back and see what happens. And so, and that leads me to the last question. And I'll ask you this before we preview what you got coming up this week and let you know about your pick tonight for Monday Night Football. Hunter Yurichek, this hire, doing great basketball, doing great in baseball, but we know what it is here in Arkansas. We know what it is in the SEC. If he misses on this, is this his last go-around as athletic director?
Grant,
I think it is at Arkansas. This is a foundational hire. If you look back at how the Brett Bielema era ended, and we go into Chad Morris, and then you come into Coach Pittman, who we had a look, some success a couple of years. If you look at the stats and how many wins and losses Arkansas's had over, I can't remember exactly the time frame I looked at, but we're the very bottom of the pack. And so you've got to get this right. Otherwise, I think we spiral even further down. And so, yeah, I think that if you get this one wrong, Hunter may not make it.
Josh?
Yeah. I've got mixed feelings about it because, man, I never thought John Calipari would end up in Arkansas. And I know that we've all been told about, the big money guys that were influencing that, so can you give all the credit to Hunter Yurichek for making that happen? Maybe not all of it, but you got to give some of it because he's the athletic director when it happened. Right. So he's done it with basketball, or he's been a part of it. Can he pull that off and get that support to get a big hire here? If he does, I think that obviously that kind of secures, his position here and is going to earn him a lot of respect with everybody. But when I look back at his football hires, because football is its own sport. When you look back at it, one of his earliest hires was a TD Ameritrade CEO that hadn't coached football, right? And so he wrote a book on it. Apparently, he's super smart. But as soon as they got into like the FBS, I mean, the team just wasn't any good. And then again at Houston, I think Major Applewhite, who didn't pan out there. So it's not like there's something on his resume that really sticks out and goes, man, this guy has an eye for head coaches. You've got Sam Pittman. That's kind of who you've got in the SEC as a resume for looking around the coaching board and finding the guy to come get the job done. And I think even now it's going to be harder because there's a lot more competition looking for a head coach as well. So he's got to make a good hire. I don't have confidence or a negative feeling. I just, we'll see what happens, I guess.
All right, let's go ahead and move forward. About to let y'all go. And don't forget to be a part of the show. Hop in the chat so we can bring up your comments. Right now, the breakdown is coming up, and we got mixed feelings about the breakdown. Arthur says, can't wait to see it. And then we got Lance says, don't break it down, DJ. We seen it. All right, some people don't want to see it anymore. I will say this, the things that I'm going to talk about tonight, just interesting decisions, some on Coach Petrino. I'll say that. And there's a couple things I think that are just piling up on the plate for Coach Petrino that sometimes you miss some areas, little details that can help your team have success on the football field. I think we're missing some of those to help us maybe get us over that hill. But I understand it because there's a lot going on. James Gwatney is in the house tonight here. Grant, I don't know if you remember James. He's the one who beat you in Bago and lost my $100. All right, so he is in the house tonight, sitting right here at the Mainline Sports Bar. Chris Caver in the house, appreciate the donate. He is a ride or die, ain't trying to hear it. Coach Petrino, he will be with him till the wheels fall off. Chris Caver, always appreciate the support. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and switch in and let people know what we got coming up. And Grant, I'm gonna start with you, big dog. What you got coming up Tuesday for us?
Yep, coming out tomorrow. We got Let Grant Cook. We're gonna break it down as we always do. Keep it real. We'll take a look at the good, the bad, the ugly of what we did Saturday. So a little bit of pressure on Talon, best in pass pro this past weekend. But we were able to get the run game established. So we'll break it down, look at how we played against LSU. And, I don't know that it was terrible, but not quite enough to find a W out there. So hopefully we'll get it right coming through this practice this week and on Texas.
All right, you're going to have that Tuesday. That's tomorrow morning. And then we got our viewer comments Wednesday, then Thursday. Matt can't join us tonight, but he's still going to have you all covered on that defensive side of the ball. So coming up Thursday, going to be Getting Defensive with Matt Harris. Missed opportunities all over the field. A couple interceptions that we should have had. I mean, it was a tough film to watch. And so tonight, my breakdown's more so on the offensive side of the ball. Matt's going to have you covered on that defensive side of the ball, let you know what to expect moving forward. Maybe play spoiler when it comes to UT. God, we got to have that one. That one's tough. All right, Josh, what you got coming up? And scout them up, big dog.
Man, Friday we're going to take a look at number 10, Texas, and what that looks like for Arkansas traveling down to Austin to play these guys. I mean, look, they coming off of a tough loss against Georgia, but you know what? It's still Texas, and you're still going to Texas, and everything's bigger in Texas, boys, especially that offensive line. So I'm expecting them to try to have a big rebound game against Arkansas. So we're going to dive into what we might be facing against them. And I'm also going to see if I can get a little bit of Matt Harris action on breaking down maybe what Arkansas's defense needs to do to be able to stop these guys by looking at some of this Georgia film. So looking forward to that.
I like it, fellas. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great night. Grant, I'll chop it up with you a little bit later tonight. Get prepped up for tomorrow. Josh, have a good one, man. Everybody, make sure you stay tuned and check in with what they got coming for you. All right, Grant. And all right, Josh. Now it's time. All right, we got to get into the good old breakdown. You know, and each and every week that I do this breakdown, y'all, it's just the things that I see on tape, it just leaves me with where I'm sure it leaves a lot of y'all after the game. Now, sometimes I go back and watch film, and I'm like, okay, I actually feel better about Arkansas's process. Now it's getting to the point now where we keep making the same mistakes. And this is tough because, you know, I'm a big fan of this program. I'm a big fan of these guys. You know, outside of the football field, we got some incredible guys. I talk to Caleb Wooden every week on the Zone. I talk to Mike Washington every week on the Zone. I really think Mike Washington and I could be really good friends. Right? He has so many cool interests outside of football. I had plenty of times talking to Taylor Green. Like, these are good kids, all right? Let's not get that twisted, okay? But Coach Petrino had something in a press conference. And, you know, as much as I'm going to talk about Taylor in some clips here today, I thought it was fair. And he told Taylor, people who sign up for the quarterback position, what comes with that is the criticism. You got to put it all on your shoulders. And sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes it's going to be tough to take in. But he always reminds his guys, this is what you signed up for. This is just part of it. Because you're going to get all the praise when we win. And then the thing about it is we could lose a game and you could be the only one doing something right. And all 10 guys could do something wrong. But it's still going to be on your shoulders, okay? So let's get into it. Let's watch some film. And I'm going to pick up from the first drive. I don't think you could have asked for a better start to the game. I think everybody was watching this, and exactly what you would expect from a Coach Petrino who has time to prepare for a matchup. They come out just swinging on all cylinders. He had them coached up. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the very first play of the game. Very efficient, great play call, great execution, and just doing such a great job doing the right way. So what we saw here, we ran this play before, I believe it was against Mississippi State, and there was some bad miscommunication, and it ended up being a tackle for a loss. They go back to it. They trust it. Hey, let's do what we're supposed to do, get it done the right way. It leaves a nice little fake read option, and now Taylor made a good decision, got the pitch out to Mike Washington, and picks up about 8 yards on first down. Let's keep this thing rolling, fellas, out of the gate. Baton Rouge on the road. We want the ball. Let's make something happen with it. Now, I will say this. This is something that popped up extremely early in the game, and it's funny because if you watched our breakdown leading up into the game, if you watched the pregame show, I circled number 88, and I said, this dude has some juice, okay? I said, he reminds me of a Malcolm Shepard from back in the day. I saw it on tape then, and he did it in the very first drive. Look at this get-off right here. This dude had a nose for our snap count. I'm going to address that here in just a little bit, but look at that get-off. I mean, just pushes everybody into the backfield, and so I'm going to address that a little bit later. How do you play against guys like that? I got a solution, and I feel like we missed on opportunities to help out our offense in that situation. However, like I said, great play calls. The thing about this team is they fly around. Ever since Brian Kelly got fired, this new guy comes in here, and he brings pressure, and these guys flow. They run to the ball. You got to use that momentum against them. Great play call right here, drawing everybody to the left side of the field. You got, that is Rodney Hill clearing out the DB on the backside, and just a great concept, throwing it to your tight end, sneaking out from the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. I mean, we're moving. We're up to the 50-yard line, 2 plays in. Can't ask for a better start. What's the next play going to look like, Arkansas? Can you keep the momentum going? Just a great job by Taylor selling it. Great job by the offensive line selling it. We're rolling. All right, let's go ahead and get to the third play of the drive. I haven't even clipped up any of these plays yet. So once again, got a guy coming in motion. Taylor takes the snap, and you get into a situation. Look at the pocket. This is a team that held Alabama to 3 points in the first, 0 in the third, and only 3 in the fourth, okay? So we can get it done, you know, up front. Thing about it is, too, these are things that pop up on tape. Amazing catch, But once again, I don't want our guy this early in the game to have to be making one-handed snags like this on these routine throws and catches. I think, once again, it's popping up a little bit more now than it was at the beginning of the year. Maybe competition, maybe more pressure has something to do with it. But Talon has to stay poised and just deliver a routine ball. Inaccuracies have kind of been a thing for Talon since he's been on campus. It seems some days he gets it figured out, but sometimes when he gets a little bit too amped up or worried or concerned, then the accuracy pops up again. But still, a great catch from one of your big-time playmakers and turns it upfield. That's the third play in our drive, and every single one has been positive. That's a team that prepared during the bye week, that came out ready to play. Great play designs here. Great kick out by the backside tackle. Great running lanes. At this point, the way that they came out, I was just like, okay, the only way Arkansas loses this one, because from what we've seen, LSU, even on the offensive side of the ball, the only way Arkansas lose this one is if they find a way to beat themselves. I shouldn't even thought that. I should know that by now, okay? We've been doing that for the past 7 weeks, all right? But I really thought we were going to get over that hump. And once again, I'm scared to do this sometimes with Coach Petrino, but we can sit here and pick apart these players all we want. What can a coach do to help out these players with the little things? I'm going to show you something a little bit later in a breakdown. But great play, great job of Amarian Harris going up to the second level, getting a block on a linebacker, and letting Mike Washington get a couple extra hard yards. And then we get to where it was just like every Razorback fan, oh, actually it is not this one. This is our first, I wouldn't say necessarily negative play, but a play where we didn't get anything going. Once again, Talon, a little inaccurate on that crossing route to Omega Blake. And then you get this one right here. All right, so once again, timing is so big. In a slant route, it's a 3-step. You got to get the ball out, not now, but right now, okay? I would love for him to be winding up already. The ball needs to almost be out of his hand because these windows are so tight in the SEC. Now, a lot of people, if you go back and really pick this apart, you could easily point at this receiver down here and say, okay, that'd be a really cool hitch just to throw to on a 2nd and 1, which is going to be wide open. But still, you have an option here. You just need to get the ball out much sooner. He waits just a tad, and that allows that DB to get in there at the last second and compete, at least, for trying to pass that ball up. So small little things, but it's okay. It's still 3rd and 1. And then we run into this issue right here, okay? This was tough to watch. Mike Washington fumbles this ball, and I've been going back and forth on this, trying to figure – because me personally, I'm not a big fan of this play, okay? I want you to hand this ball off, okay? I want you to hand it off. What's that? Am I doing something wrong? Oh, okay, yeah. I do got a tight one. All right, so, oh, sorry, thank you. My director's trying to help me out. I'm not the biggest fan of this play. I like the handoffs because I think when you toss it just for a split second, and they've run this play before in the past. They really have. Just me personally, I want to make sure that the running back's eyes on short yardage are making sure he's looking at his hole and where he's going to try to sliver through. That split second that ball is in the air, Mike Washington has to take his eyes to the ball and then get him back to his hole. I get it. It's a split second, but things down there in those trenches happen that fast. And the thing about it is, if you go back, they ran this play again a little bit later in the game. Same thing. See where his eyes are. Another 3rd and 1. And just that split second, I'm just not a big fan. You see this guy kind of slip through. Mike sees him last second. He's not able to try to find a little avenue to get that done. So even though I'm not the biggest fan of that play, they have ran it before, and it's been successful. But that was before I knew this. So this is exactly what happened on that play. Here's Coach Petrino in his press conference today talking about that fumble from Mike Washington.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take care of the ball. We had situations where, you know, we blew one play, work that play all the time. Mike does it all. He's done it all year long. And somehow he thought he was taking a handoff, and it's a flip. It's not.
That's tough to hear. You know what I mean? And then it makes, and I feel like a lot of fans kind of felt like I feel in these situations of when you watch it at first, why are we not just handing that off, letting him get downhill? But then when you realize he's doing the wrong thing and that's what caused the fumble, it's okay if you get stopped right there and you don't pick it up on that 3rd and 1. We're in field goal range. You have another opportunity on 4th down, but the turnovers are what kill you. And the worst turnover is when guys are doing the wrong thing. They're doing what they're not coached to do. Those are frustrating and very hard to move past. All right, let's go ahead and keep this breakdown going. That was the first drive, and I'm going to shift into, an area of this game that I felt like, were some questionable coaching things. As much as I don't like the toss play right there, another thing I'm not the biggest fan is Coach Petrino having a little bit too much faith in his guys, okay? On paper, the blocks, if they all work out, are great, but you have to be aware of personnel. This takes me back to the Texas game last year when we had, who was our little receiver that we had last year? I mean, he weighed all of about 115 pounds. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but we had him in a situation where we have him blocking a really big defensive back, number 7 from Texas last year. Not a good matchup. I don't like the fact that we're bringing Raylan Sharp down to block the edge defender, who we know it's going to be based off personnel, is the best player on their defense. It ain't going to happen, all right? And you're going to run right into it. That's a big ask from a receiver. I would say that's a big ask from a tight end. Ask, that is A-S-K, okay? Make sure I pronounce that right. And he's supposed to get down here and be involved in this, and it just goes nowhere. Turns a 2nd and 1 to a 3rd and some change. I'm not the biggest. I wish we were a little bit more aware of the personnel, what we're asking players to do. And the thing is, I know Coach P knows this, and I know sometimes his hands are tied, but I think we're at a point now where we don't have the luxury of wasting any plays, and I don't want to see plays where we know guys are not going to be successful. There's no reason Sharp should get down there, and this is not a knock on Raylan Sharp. It's not. This is just my hats off to number 7, who's going to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL. He doesn't need to be trying to block this guy in this scheme right here. Let's get to another area of this game. Missed opportunities is going to be something that we're going to talk about. And just another part when it comes to great play calls, great play design. All you have to do is just finish the play. Taylon's looking to the right, has zero intention to throw this ball to the right side of the field. The reason he's doing that is because he wants to move this safety. Okay, this is where now I'm getting into the brilliance of Coach Petrino. Talk about a couple questionable things. Now the brilliance. Great play design. You need to move that safety. You also need to get the attention of this safety, and you're going to get one of your highest targeted players to run full speed across this guy's face with zero intention to ever throwing him the football, okay? All of this is to build and set up this crossing route, deep crossing route for this guy right here. Now, he does get tangled up a little bit. I don't like the angle that he's coming out, but Taylon has plenty of time to see this, and these are the ones you just can't miss, okay? You would expect a guy making millions of dollars. Yes, he's very explosive with your feet, but when the plays are there and it's wide open for touchdowns, you can't miss them. You see it thrown right here. Great concept, just overthrow him. Look at all that space in front of him. Would have walked in for a touchdown. And now I know we went on to score, and it was 14-0 at some point. But missed opportunities is something we cannot afford, okay? So that's just one right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one. This is going to be on a 2nd down, another potential missed opportunity from right here. As Taylon gets out of the pocket, for some reason, I'm not sure exactly what transpired. We ended up having a very long 3rd down. But this is where I sometimes struggle with Taylon of, like, what are we looking at? This is what this play is designed to do. And you're looking right at him. Now, I know what he's feeling. You see that guy right in the middle of that field that's about to hit him underneath the chin? This is where you tell those guys. I remember Coach Petrino used to say this to Ryan Mallett. You know he said it to Tyler Wilson. You remember that Alabama game when Tyler Wilson was just taking shots on the chin all day long, but he was throwing touchdowns. You have to stand in the pocket, throw this, and just take the hit, okay? It's right there. Ball already needs to be in the air, but he lets that guy kind of get in his mind. He pulls it down and tries to run out of the pocket when he doesn't need to. You just have to take the hit, move on, and make a big-time play. This right here is extremely difficult for me because this was my bread and butter. And I remember sometimes if Mallett didn't throw it to me on this play, I would go back and cuss him out on the sideline. Like, what are you doing? There was one time he didn't throw it to me on this play when I was open because he threw it to Jarius Wright. And Jarius Wright ended up going for 60 yards, so I couldn't be too mad at him. But this is my play, all right? We got Jaden Platt on the end of the line of scrimmage. And the reason I'm mad at it right here is because this guy right here is responsible for potentially taking care of this flat. As soon as you see him boot out, he looks for the deep crosser, okay? And so they're keying this guy. Is that who I think it is? If that's Omega Blake, I'm going to lose my mind. I really go back and see how many of Talon's interceptions were him trying to target Omega Blake. I really have to see how far this guy's coming over. It may not be the case. But right here, this ball needs to come out. This is the number one guy in this progression. Said this in the post game. I know maybe y'all are thinking maybe he looks downfield for a shot and then he dumps it out to the tight end. That is not the case, and I got proof. Here's Coach Petrino on this one, and I don't know how many times in the post game when I try to explain something, then I see stuff like this happen. It's just tough. Here's Coach Petrino on this pick by Talon Green.
You know, and the one that's really disappointing to me on Talon is the naked. When you come out and the tight end's number one in the progression and he's wide open and we didn't throw him the ball. I'm not sure why. That's something that cannot happen.
Can't happen. I know a lot of people would say, then why are we not pulling them? Okay. Guys, I just Coach P, and I would say most of the people in that program, I know a lot of people think that maybe because the money is involved and you got so much invested in this kid. I really don't think that's the case, okay? I really do believe, even today, and I know this may rub people the wrong way, the best chance that our offense has is when Talon Green is on the field, okay? I'm not saying Talon Green is a Heisman candidate. I'm just looking at our options available. That's not a knock on K.J. Jackson, but I think to ask him to come in on the road, LSU, with zero really experience in real-time games, best chance we got on the field right now is Talon Green. And he has his Superman moments, and we're going to talk about some in a minute. But this play right here for Talon is unexcusable. This is hurting your team in the worst way. When you're not doing what you're coached to do and you try to do too much, eyeing your favorite guy down in triple coverage, that's a tough one to wrap your mind around. And there's been, I could probably count now on two hands how many times that Talon has made just some decisions where I'm just like, oh, Talon, I want to help your back as much as possible, but you make it tough when you do stuff like this. I don't know how to stop it. One way to stop it would be to put someone else in, but Petrino's rolling with them, so we're going to see what we got going. Hate that missed opportunity right there. And now let's get to this one. This is when Coach Petrino, first of all, we got to send like a card to that reporter, an apology. I mean, she was not expecting to run into somebody crashing out on that sideline before halftime. I mean, Coach Petrino was livid after this, saying, we're playing everybody. I've heard that voice before. The real Coach P, he came out on that one. But let's go and take a look at this interception right here. This one hurt, y'all. Driving before half, have an opportunity to get points on the board. This ended up being a 10-point swing. And once again, I think Coach Petrino's reaction to this one was a little too much, and by a little, a lot. I don't think this is pass interference. Now, people are going to argue with me on this one. I don't think it warranted that response from him on the sideline. And that's just me watching the tape. Now, let's just say if it was pass interference, you can't bring that energy into the halftime when you're down 2. It's 16-14 at this point because you don't need your guys coming out thinking, oh, we're playing against the refs now. You can't have that, okay? You got to have them focused. Coach got to lock in, and I get it. We can talk about it after the game and bottle it up with inside. But I think based off what happened the week before and what was going on with all the penalties, I think Coach Petrino feels like, okay, y'all are messing with me a little too much right now, and he's very frustrated. I get it. Your team had a chance to score before halftime, put you in a really big spot. However, Omega Blake, I think this is the second time you've done something that has caused Talon to throw a pick. Earlier in that Auburn game, the second pick that he threw, I put this on my stream, talked about the outside release. It's mandatory. That's not a suggestion. That's not, saying, hey, think about it. It's a mandatory outside release. It brought the corner over there to him. You have to fight right here on this one. This is a big-time matchup and a big battle for position. And so at first, I thought this was Talon's fault. Looking at the film, I can't really put this on Talon. You're going to see Omega Blake stem outside, and he's running a slant route. He's supposed to stem outside, and then he's supposed to cross this guy's face. As soon as he commits, you cannot change your mind. You can't, because now this quarterback in the red zone knows I don't have a lot of time to stay in this pocket. I have to get this ball out. And if Omega Blake crosses the face like he's supposed to and what he's trying to do, at worst, it's an incomplete pass, okay? But right here, when they kind of get jumbled up, You see Talon right now, it's a good ball. Hey, your guy has inside leverage on this guy, and you're throwing it to where he can get the catch. But right here, when he felt like maybe it was a little too handsy, he gave up on the play, and he let this guy come underneath where he was supposed to be. And then now we got an interception, and now everybody's mad at Talon, thinking it's his fault. That one was not on Talon. I hate to say it. I look at those bang-bang plays in the red zone. You have to, as a receiver, understand, if I have to cross face, if I don't, it's going to end up being a pick. I think number 4 right there just wanted it more, and that's exactly what showed on tape. And those are some things that maybe Omega you can go back and watch and try to grow from. But right there, from that one clip, you had 2 people. Who wants it more? Number 4, he showed us who that guy was on that play. All right, we're going to go ahead and get to our first break on the other side. I got more to talk about. We're going to talk about 4th downs. We're going to talk about something I think Coach Petrino could have implemented in this game to help our case moving forward when it comes to maybe slowing down that pass rush and those defensive linemen from LSU. Also going to be joined by Zach Gillum. That's going to be a little bit later on. We got a lot going on, Razorback fans, and I'm going to get to your comments as well. Bear with me. It's hard to do it while I do the breakdown, but we're going to have time for that as well. We'll be right back after this break.
Rep the Hogs in style? Stop by Be Unlimited, Fayetteville's go-to spot for custom apparel and officially licensed Razorback gear. Need custom shirts for your team, business, or event? Their in-house crew makes it quick, easy, and done right. Shop in-store or online at shop.be-unlimited.com and show your Arkansas pride. Be Unlimited, where passion meets design.
I bet they run the ball right here. Well, you former Razorbacks think you're so smart, don't you? What? Well, if you are so smart, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Wager on the Oakland Sports app. It's the best in-game wagering available in the state. Maybe use that football brain of yours to bet on this next play. Plus your favorite games. It's that easy. Yes! See? You should have took the bet.
Bet on any game all season long with Oakland Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app.
You might not know us yet, but around here, we're building something different. Southwest Auto Collection in Arkadelphia is more than just a dealership. With a full service department, on-site body shop, and brands you trust, Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, we're built to take care of you long after the sale. And when you keep up your service with us, we'll cover your tires for life. Honest deals, real service, and value that's worth the drive. Southwest Auto Collection. Your road starts here.
At Ortho Arkansas, relief is closer than you think. Our in-house spine procedure center was designed with one goal in mind: to make your care as easy and comfortable as possible. From pain-relieving injections to advanced spine procedures, everything is done right here, safely, conveniently, and under the care of our fellowship-trained specialists. Since our procedure center is part of Ortho Arkansas, your physician team, imaging, and follow-up care are all connected, saving you time and eliminating unnecessary steps. You'll be in and out the same day, cared for by a team that knows you, right here where you already trust us with your care. Relief, right here at Ortho Arkansas Spine Institute Procedure Center.
Yep. Ooh, there it is, y'all. Y'all see it over there? That's the main line. All right, so if you want to come hang out with us, you don't have to go through the casino part. You walk up those steps. There's a little statue over here to the left. That's the American Pharaoh statue. All you have to do is walk right up those stairs. Come on in here. I got these wings sitting right next to me. I have to wait to eat. I'm starving right now. They smell so good. The best dry rub wing in the state. I'm not playing. Ask the guy in the chair. They ain't bad, y'all. They be hitting. All right, let's go ahead and hop right back into this breakdown. So I left you with that interception. And like I said, I'm going to show some of these where I feel like I see why he's in. Like, Talon has his moments. He has his moments where he shine. Moments when he does stuff that a lot of people can't do. You got this a comment coming in from the super chat. We did run Cowboy Go Get It pass, though. Loved it. I think I got that play in here right now. Yeah, I am going to have that play in there. And I really like the decision that Talon made. People are kind of criticizing that one, too, because he missed a wide-open guy, but I think I know why. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But let's go ahead and pull this breakdown back up, and let's keep it rolling. All right, so let's move to concepts. This is where I see these clips of, okay, Talon's learning. He's getting in the right direction. Why is that name up there? That's not Josh Throne. Y'all bear with me. I can't be talking while Josh's name is up like that. There we go. All right, here we go. So if you go back to the first interception that Talon threw against Auburn, if you go back and listen to that press conference, Coach Petrino referenced a cloud corner. Okay, he said he didn't see the cloud corner. Well, he ran it against Tennessee. He saw it. Not sure why he didn't see it. And he even named the play. He said the play was blue. Well, guess what? Exact same play, exact same coverage, giving Talon another opportunity, and that's big. Trust him to make the right call, and that's exactly what he did. He makes the perfect read right here. He understands that cloud corner is sitting on the flat route, and this is where you have to throw it into that two-hole shot, made famous by good old Ryan Mallett. Probably other quarterbacks before him, but a lot of Razorback fans remember him always throwing it in there to Greg Childs. It's very tough to make this throw, and he throws a bullet right here. Throws it right there, perfect play. That was leading up, trying to get that score in before halftime. Can't ask for a better throw and a great decision. And then I was like, where'd Courtney Crutchfield come from? All right, that was cool to see him out there. 2-3 years ago was the #1 player in the state, went to Missouri, haven't heard anything about him, and he makes a big-time play on the sideline. Would love to see more of that going for that young man. But big-time throw. Another one with Talon. When I talk about just the Superman things, anyone else in the country, this is a sack, a breakdown and pass protection up front on a play where they're trying to go up a few possessions, try to get a 2-point conversion. I don't know anyone else that can do this. Not only avoid the pressure, but look at this. That is big time. And so in these situations, man, I just had a conversation with my guy Gwatney here. Live by it, die by it. That's just the name of the game with Talon Green. Now, I will say this. We've been dying a lot, okay? And it'd be cool if we'd lived a little bit more, and then I think you get a little bit more grace when it comes to Talon Green. But once again, that makes me think, what does KJ Jackson really look like? The only people who know are the people in that locker room, all right? Now, I'll say this. I open up this platform from anyone who wants to come on and chit-chat. So if y'all know something I don't know, just let me know. Doesn't matter if it's an uncle, a parent, KJ himself, all right? I highly doubt that's going to happen, but I'm going to throw it out there just in case. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Let's get to these fourth down situations. And once again, you talk about Coach P. We were 3 for 4 on fourth down. That's a great day. I don't care who you are, especially on the road, making decisions that are tough. Great play call, great read by Talon Green, great blocking by the receivers, convert on a 4th and 2. Big-time call. Cowboy, go get it pass. Chris Caver just called for it. Great execution. Now, you're going to see this guy guarding Rohan Jones. He stumbles right here. But right now, from Talon's perspective, it looks covered. And I will say I am happy with Talon making a decision quick on this. He sees option 1's not there. Let me get my eyes to option 2, okay? And option 2 is going to be Platt going out to the flat. Now, yes, he stumbled and he ends up being open, but I think Talon made the right decision right there. Now we get to this situation right here. And it was funny when I was watching this. I don't have this far. I don't have it this far on the film right here. But if you go back and watch the TV edit, these guys from LSU, as soon as Arkansas broke the huddle, they were all waiting on the goal line. And then they started barking. And I know what they were saying. They was talking that mess. I would have been like, hold on, let me take a timeout. Let me rethink this one, all right? And I'm going to tell you exactly why here in a little bit, based off what the defense has been doing, what's been happening in the offense, the prior plays to this. Pride kind of comes in, and I'll say this D-line for LSU, they're legit. They had some dudes, and they played at an extremely high level. You get to this 4th and goal. They tried the little tuss push. I don't think they executed it very well. Clearly, they didn't execute it very well at all. But I go ahead and break this down. On this one, you don't have any room for any movement backwards. You have to be in your stance already. Talon takes this almost negative step right there. That puts him behind the 8 ball. Outside of that, I would like this fullback to already be up in there and help with the push. You got this big guy from LSU, number 90, jumping over the line of scrimmage. Sorry, there's too many bodies in there. I can't really put a circle on him. But he ends up twisting Taylon Green. The other thing with Taylon is his pad level is way too high. His helmet needs to be almost in that little spot in that crevice right underneath you see number 90? His helmet needs to be at the beginning of that 9. And I would like our running backs to be up there a little bit as well. And so I think it's just poor execution. But one thing I noticed was the snap count. These guys are getting off the ball extremely fast for LSU. I mean, almost before Arkansas gets off the ball. I think we did a really, really poor job with our snap count. That's how you slow down teams like this is you see NFL quarterbacks, even some college quarterbacks that get these guys to jump off sides. That's how you slow down these guys and make them think at the line of scrimmage. But when they get a kind of a rhythm and a cadence of when you're going to say hut, that's bad news, man. That's the advantage for the offense, not for the defense, and they took advantage of our snap count. I'm going to show you a couple clips of that. Now, the thing about it is, the reason I said I probably would have said timeout, let me think about this for a second, is because you had 2 opportunities, and then one guy that's not on the field that was noticeable in these situations was our guy Braylon Russell. All right, big body. That's what you want down there in the goal line. He was dealing with a concussion. He's in concussion protocol. So the backup fullback came in. This is a play we've ran with Braylon a lot. This is 2 plays before that 4th and goal, and it's blocked up perfect. But our guy, as soon as he gets the ball, he slips, okay? Look at this line. Perfect line. You just squeeze right on through there and into the end zone, but he ends up slipping right there untouched, and he can't get through. Look at that wall of offensive linemen right there ready to escort him in for a touchdown. Got a little – I think our thing's a little messed up. You may have to jiggle it here in a little bit. Looks good right now. But you can see that right there, and you see Taylon. He sees it too, man. He's just like, oh, no, that was our shot. And then we ended up trying to go for it on 3rd, kind of blown up again. At some point, that's where you just got to say, it ain't working for us down here. Hindsight, though, right? Another situation right here. This is a 4th and 6. So, once again, that's the only 4th down we missed. Great play call right here. They had a miscommunication in the secondary. Taylon gets the ball out quick. Would have been a penalty anyway. And so you got to like it. Going forward on 4th down and being successful most of the time except for that goal line situation. Now, I'll go back to this guy. Remember this dude I was talking about, number 88? It looks like he knows our snap count more than the offensive line. Here goes another example. Watch how fast this guy gets off the ball, gets into his move. They're just causing havoc all day long. Another situation right here. This is as fast as I could freeze frame this. This guy is already out of his stance while most of our linemen are still in their stance, but the ball has been snapped. All right? They picked up on it. The cadence, the clap, the everything. As a coach, you have to understand and see this, and then you have to take advantage by using hard counts to get these guys to jump off sides. You didn't see that at all. That's how you slow that down, all right? And it showed up way too much on tape. I mean, look how fast these guys are in the backfield. Blows it up before they have a chance to hand it off. And once again, a situation where you're taking tackle for a loss. I got a little bit better example coming up here in just a second. But once again, just the struggle. When these guys have the anticipation on the snap count, it lets them not think about anything and gets into their pass rush real quick without worrying about jumping off sides and causing themselves 5 yards. The other thing when it comes to this, which I was surprised I didn't see a lot, usually when guys are coming off that fast and they're getting upfield, where's my screens at? All right, that's usually a big way to take advantage of that as well. Tight end screen, running back screen, tunnel screen, and that's the way you slow these guys down from that pass rush. I just didn't see a lot of it. And then here goes Perkins, all right? So this is where you know that they've been watching this on film, okay? We got to tell, and they're all over it. Taylon goes through his cadence. He looks back, lets Mike Washington knows what's going on, and Perkins is just looking at him because he knows when he needs to start this blitz, okay? Taylon goes back, looks forward, and as soon as he's about to clap, you already see Perkins. He's leaning. He's like, okay, I got it. He's about to clap. As soon as Taylon gets this clap, he takes off. All right, now look how fast he gets in the backfield, all right? Coaches have to see that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Usually an offensive coordinator or a quarterback coach should be up in the box realizing, hey, they got this figured out. You would love for an offensive lineman to come over to the sideline and say, hey, we got to try to make them jump off sides. something's missing. Now, I don't know if it's because Coach P's trying to pull double duty. You got a new OC in who's probably not worried or thinking about stuff like that. I think when you're a program, when you have so much stacked against you, I said this earlier before I started, you sometimes miss the little things that can take you over that hump and help you out. One of the biggest issues we had were being behind the chains a lot. It was like 2nd and 20, 3rd and 19, 3rd and 12, 2nd and 15, just because we were struggling with this pass rush. So I really wish that's something they pay attention to, because Texas is going to see this on film, and I promise you they're going to try to see what Talon has going on with his rhythm and cadence and try to get a little jump on the snap. All right, here's my last point. Self-awareness, all right? I'm going to sound like old man on the front porch right here. I already know it. And I like Mike Washington. I think he's a great guy. I like Rohan Jones. I think he's a great guy. I like all of our guys. I think they're all cool dudes. But you got to have some self-awareness. We just scored a touchdown. It's third quarter. We're about to go up, all right? Preference for me. Fellas, let's celebrate this, but we still got a lot to go because we've been in this situation for the past 7 weeks. Let's go finish the game, all right? I don't know why. As soon as I saw this, I was just like, oh, we're finna lose this game. We think we're good right now. I need our sense of urgency to be at an all-time high, and I almost don't want to celebrate anything until the clock hits 0 and we got more points than them, because it's been a long time since that happened. We get into the end zone, and I don't know what it was about this and the nice little and look at my guy just, oh, God. I can't. I sound like old man on the front porch right now, all right? But I need us mindset-wise to get in this spot. Football is fun, as it should be, all right? What's even more fun is winning. I really want our mindset, hopefully going into Texas, is to take moments like this of understanding, hey, let's celebrate, guys. Hey, good job, good block, good block, good block. Hey, we still got a lot of work to do. Let's go finish this one, okay? Let's not keep doing what we've been doing for the past 7 weeks. Let's go finish this one. I think it's a TikTok dance, all right? And that's what I got from my guy in the chair. I'm a little old for this one, all right? And I just don't want the mindset to be, when we score, let's go get in the front of the camera and hit this TikTok dance real quick, and then we'll post it on social media later. It drives me insane, all right? Now, I'm sure if we're winning, it's not a big deal. I don't mind anymore. But after 8 losses in a row, let's get back to the sideline and let's go, all right? Great play, great run, great blocking. Hey, let's go finish the game now. Let's not worry about getting in front of this camera. I don't know what it is about it. It just drives me crazy, y'all. Mindset, all right? That's our breakdown here for tonight. I know these young kids are going to get on to me for that one. I don't care, all right? I just want to start winning. We can dance all we want once we start winning, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get to our second break. It's going to be a quick one. On the other side, y'all, we got to talk about a little Monday night football. We got Razorback basketball, Zach. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about that as well. Maybe a little bit. Depends on who we play, what's on the board. We're going to be joined by Zach Gillum. Switch, maybe talk a little basketball, talk about Monday night football matchup. We got the Cowboys. I mean, our fans and their fans probably go through the same thing. They're going to be playing the Raiders. We'll talk about that on the other side right after this.
Okay. I got my bet in on the next drive. Y'all? Yep. Whoever loses picks up the tab.
You know, this Oaklawn Sports betting app is so fun to use, it might actually make watching these games with y'all bearable.
Big talk coming from a fella about to lose this wager.
Just need a field goal here and you'll be cooked, my friend. Remember our friendly wager.
And it's good.
Go!
Bet on any game all season long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app.
This is humiliating.
Hey, you're not in high school anymore, but that knee still remembers that state championship, and that shoulder, well, it's been off since that game-winning drive. At Ortho Arkansas, they see it all the time. Old injuries that never fully healed, finally sneaking up on us. But here's the good news. It's never too late to get back into the things you love. Whether it's running, lifting, coaching, or just keeping up with your kids, their sports medicine team is there to help you move forward without pain holding you back. Fellowship-trained physicians, personalized recovery plans, care that's built around your goals. Because once an athlete, always an athlete. Ortho Arkansas, for plays that still matter.
All right, Razorback fans, basketball season is in full swing and it's kind of starting to feel like 1994. The best thing about Be Unlimited, it caters to all eras of Razorback basketball fans, from the slobbering hog with Nolan Richardson to the running hog with Coach Cal. From hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, they've got it all right here at your #1 stop. Be Unlimited. The road to the Final Four starts here.
Hey y'all, this is Cam here at Southwest Ford in Arkadelphia. We just built our brand new 3 facilities here, our GMC, Dodge, and Ford facilities. If you're coming down the highway on I-30, take exit 78. We'll be 1.5 miles down the road. You're gonna look on the right-hand side and you're gonna see our beautiful Chevrolet store. Right past that, you're gonna see our beautiful Dodge store. And at the end, you're gonna see our wonderful Ford store. Our 3 facilities here make it so easy for you to shop here. Whether it's online or in person, we have almost everything you want and need. And if we don't have it, we'll go out and get it for you. If you live somewhere far, north, east, south, or west, we will deliver to you. Free delivery across the whole state. Please come down and come see me at Southwest Auto Ford in Arkadelphia.
All right, welcome back. A big one in Arkadelphia. The Battle of the Ravine. OBU goes down. Henderson holding down business. Always give a shout out to our travel sponsor, Southwest Auto, for getting us point A to point B. Always encourage you, look at this, Zach. $25,000 off MSRP. All right, they're going to take care of you every time you head down there to Arkadelphia, right off the interstate. Great people, even better service. Gotta love them. But now it's time to go and take a look at what is on the board. Joined by Zach Gillum with Oaklawn Sports. First of all, Zach, you were in Austin this weekend?
Yes.
What happened? What you doing over there?
One of my childhood friends got married.
Nice.
So,
Party a little bit?
Partied a little bit. Had some fun.
Cowboy hat? Did you wear one?
I did not. There were many cowboy hats.
Oh, man, that's
boots,
what they do there,
buckles.
right?
Yeah.
Stetson, is that the brand or something like that? Am I saying that right?
Sounds right.
Something like that. I don't know. Landman Season 2 just came out. Have you seen Landman?
I've maybe seen the new episode.
Okay, it's so good, right? Oh, I love that show. I'm locked in on it right now.
All right.
Another show I'll say I'm watching, Pluribus.
So down there, the guy that was getting married, he asked me, "Have you seen this new show?" Turned on the first episode. I was asleep in 5 minutes. Not that it was bad. I was just wiped out. I was tired.
I mean,
coming from Vince Gilligan, the actors they have, I hear it's phenomenal. So
I get it, though. You got to let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
It becomes very interesting. Okay, let's talk about sports.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's matchup. Before we do that, people who want to be a part of the action, and we really have a good time, all right? And it's quick and easy. How can they download the Oaklawn Sports Betting app?
So the Oaklawn Sports app available in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Desktop users can join in on the fun. Just go to oaklawnsports.com. And new customers up to $1,000 in bonus bets. That is very easy to use. No promo code is needed. As soon as you register, make your first deposit, you're active in that offer. Runs for your first 10 days.
Best way to start is seeing what's going on tonight. So after you download that, you can watch a little Monday Night Football here tonight. Kickoff starts here in about, what time is it, 7 o'clock?
7:15.
7:15. So we got plenty of time for you to download it and get into it. But let's go ahead and take a look at what is on the board tonight for the game between the good old Cowboys and the Raiders. Do you have good news for Cowboy fans?
If you're looking at the betting line, I'd say no because it's moving the other direction. It is now Cowboys minus 3.5. You can still go get that 4 if you're a Raiders fan and want it. But that 3.5 getting over the field goal is going to be very popular. And then the total at 48.5. So again, drop just a hook. Money line, we're looking at Cowboys minus 195. The Raiders are at plus 160.
All right, let's go and take a look at some of these game props right here. These are things that you can take a look at if you think they're going to happen in today's game. And what do we got on the board right now, Zach?
Yeah, so we have a plethora of props available. These are just a few. So this is total team TDs. You're looking at 2.5 for the Cowboys, 2.5 for the Raiders. You can see those odds fluctuate based on Cowboys being the favorite. They're expected to potentially score 3 touchdowns more likely than the Raiders. Yep. So that's why you see the minus 167 on the Cowboys, minus 108 on the Raiders. Team total points, that at 26.5, 22.5. That was pulled when the line was 4, so I wouldn't be shocked if those have moved about a half point. And then total successful field goals, this is for either team, and you're just looking for 4 or more if you're taking the over, 3 or less if you're taking the under. And keep in mind, PATs are not included.
Before we get to the player props, which are my favorite and my girlfriend's favorite, speaking of a player prop, did you see what happened last night? Or was it last night? Travis Kelce, he got his 4th touchdown.
Oh.
All right. So earlier, before the season started, Travis Kelce for a season, I was like, what? To bet on that, the line was 4.5 touchdowns. That's what it was set up for, total touchdowns. I said, Travis Kelce? I said, that's got to be easy money. So we're 1 touchdown away. We bet on that back in, what, August?
That was August.
That was back in August, and I'm just sitting back just waiting for it to happen. I need 1 more touchdown.
I'm feeling pretty optimistic.
I feel good about it. How many games are left?
That's what I was just about to say. What week are we
I
in?
think it's week 11 in the NFL. Plenty of time to get 1 more touchdown.
6 games or
Do
so.
playoffs count?
I believe that is a regular season market only.
Okay.
And it would be on the bet slip, so we can go back and check that.
We'll
But
go
I'm
back
pretty
and
sure
check.
that is a regular season only.
I've never thought I'd pay more attention to the Kansas City Chiefs than I have now. I'm just how Travis do today. All right. I got to get that last touchdown. All right. Speaking of that, that's a player prop for the whole season. Let's take a look at tonight's matchup of the Cowboys and Raiders. Dak Prescott, quarterback for the Cowboys, and Geno Smith for the Raiders. What do we got?
Yeah, and this is looking at the 250 plus the ladder option is what we call it. You're going to see these start as low as maybe 200, go up to 350. It just depends on the game. And you'll see the odds fluctuate based on the quarterback because Dak is expected in this game to throw more than Geno Smith. We'll dive down to the 70 plus. This is receiving yards. Keep in mind, we're just showing two of the more popular receivers, one being a tight end who plays like a slot. But
yeah, he's so good. Brock Bowers, he's so good.
But 70 plus yards, you can see he's expected to potentially go past that, where George Pickens plus 108. You're getting a little better than even money there. And for those curious, that plus 108 indicates for every 100 you wager, you're going to make 108 profit. If you're looking at Brock Bowers, that's telling you have to wager 120 to profit 100. So that's what that plus and minus mean. And then on the 80-plus rushing yards, we have Williams and is that Genty?
Yep,
yeah, Genty. And right now at 80-plus, you're getting EV money on Williams, plus 163 on Genty. And just like the passing, the receiving and rushing have these ladder options, so you could knock that down, go to 60, and probably get closer to even money.
Brock Bowers, when Arkansas went down to Athens, it was a rough day for a Razorback fan. All right, Georgia was really good that year. But I bumped into a former tight end that played for Georgia back in the day. We kind of stayed in contact. And I was watching that game then. I was like, who's that tight end? This was his freshman year at Georgia. And they said, that kid's special. And so if I'm a betting man, Brock Bowers, man, especially he's like their main target as well. I think that dude's special. We got other options too?
Yeah, and anytime touchdown score,
Yeah,
we don't
what we
dive
got?
into those too much, but Brock Bowers plus 107.
Oh, come on.
Genty's at minus 136, so they're expecting the running back, or more likely the running back to get that. Williams minus 150 for the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb's at plus 112. Jake Ferguson, tight end for the Cowboys, plus 155. Pickens at 150. And you have a range of options here. You can parlay these. That's something that's become very popular. I think I've talked about a few of those $5 to 20,000 we've seen this year. So have fun with it. Not easy to hit, but they are fun.
Football, NFL right now, it's been fun, man. And I don't know if there's a clear-cut team that is the favorite for the Super Bowl. I'm sure there is, according to y'all, but let's take a look at some futures.
Yeah, and every week me and Justin do an Oakland Game Day. We go over this, and this is the first season I feel like every week it changes.
Yeah.
Usually you get that favorite, and they kind of stay there. This week, you have the Eagles as your favorite at plus 550. The Rams are at plus 600. The Bills at plus 850. Lions at, excuse me, I went to the conference winner. We don't want those. Lions at 10-1. Colts are at 10-1. Chiefs are at 10-1. Chiefs were your favorite last week before they lost. So that loss really changed their. I think they're down to like 6 to 8% chance of winning their division, which obviously will drastically hurt their playoff chances. But
if there's any positive for Razorback fans, we can actually get a little something in common with the Super Bowl winning team. I think their 5 losses have been 1 possession losses, and so they're right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They know what it's like too. Help out some Razorback fans for us. I mean, you're one of them too. Basketball. I know a lot of people are moving on. Not me yet. I got 2 more weeks, all right? But I got some basketball fans here ready for some big-time action, and I know a lot of people are excited to see what Coach Cal does. How far will we go into the tournament? What's it look like in the SEC? You got some options for what those futures look like?
We do, yes. You have conference winner for the SEC right now. Arkansas, you're getting 7-1. They're your 4th choice. Kentucky up top at plus 275. You have Florida at 350, Alabama at 550. To win it all, you're currently getting 20-1 on Arkansas.
Wow.
And I've said it over and over again on Oakland Game Day. I expect those odds to be dropping soon.
Yeah.
So highly recommend you get those wagers in if you're looking for 21 on the Razorbacks. And for games, we've talked about basketball is more of a day-to-day game than football. Football, we post those lines Sunday. You have a full week to wager. Basketball, they're going to either be the night before or the day of. With Arkansas playing a smaller school tomorrow, being Tuesday of this week, it will not post until the day of the game, so just check back. It will be there. But, for instance, when we get to the SEC play, bigger matchup games, for instance, Michigan State, that posted, I think, on Thursday for a Saturday game. So things are evolving in college basketball, but still in mind, keep the thought that it is day-to-day, and you will have to check back.
Cowboy fan, maybe, or Cowboy hater, I don't know. He's in the chat. He says, Dak gonna mess up and throw 2 picks tonight. Cool thing about it is, Barry, you can bet on it, all right? What if he believes that Dak's going to throw 2 picks and he wants to put $5 on it What kind of action can he get tonight?
Yeah, Dak, $5 on 2 or more interceptions. You're getting back 27. So the odds on that right now at plus 440.
Let's go.
Dive on in.
And imagine throwing that into a parlay.
Yes.
All right. So
and if you're looking for it out there, it's under the player passing options.
Okay, that's fun. Another thing, too, when it comes to basketball, I want you to explain what you were talking about. Why get on it now? So, Razorback fans out there, if you believe that this is that year with how special our roster is and these young guys, and if they come along and you feel like we know something that the nation doesn't, because, you got Kentucky ahead of us right now. You said Bama and Florida ahead of us right now.
Yep.
And so, but now if we get into the season and we all say, told you so, Arkansas is better, those odds are going to drop, right? So if you think we're on top of it, now would be the time to get into it.
Yeah, and Justin Acree does a great job talking about the value in futures. And what I just always like to highlight is the value is when you can get that number that, is going to drop. Razorbacks are, in my opinion, one of those teams this year. I think as the season keeps going, as the team stays healthy, we're just going to see those odds drop more and more. And there's a lot of variables that go into what create the odds. One of them is going to be action that the book takes. Not a shocker to anyone out there, Razorbacks are going to take a lot of action.
Yeah.
So as that action pours in, the odds will have to be reduced a little bit, and other odds might go up to get you to bet on that team. But that's why I say if you want the Razorbacks at the odds you're seeing, now is probably the time.
Now is the time. Zach, I appreciate you. Everybody at home, I appreciate you. Mr. Gwatney, thanks for hanging out with us. Always a pleasure, my friend. Mainline Sports Bar, always a good spot to come and watch some Monday Night Football, which kicks off here in just about 20 minutes. All right, should be a fun one. We're about to wrap this thing up. Thanks for everybody tuning in tonight. Zach, thank you. And thanks to our title sponsor, Oaklawn, for being a big part of 4th and 5. And y'all, we're heading places, y'all. This thing's growing. We're going with y'all. You're going with us. 4th and 5, the place to be. And I'm still on board. I still think we're going to give Texas a shot. Can't stand Texas. Oh, I won't hold my breath. Y'all have a good one.